Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of news or anything like that, I will go about on Twitter X. Today is Wednesday. I will later be publishing another Jusa episode. We are almost wrap up with that one. I think a couple more episodes, and we will wrap that one. Sorry about that. And then for Friday, at least I got a demo that I already recorded. Very interesting, Chains of Freedom. Then, as a reminder, complete gameplay series are here on playlists on the main page of the channel, and I still need to figure out which kind of game I'm going to bring for the next gaming series there. But yeah, other than that, let's go to the news. We got another issue with a 12-volt power pin connector. Again, another one. This one with the MSI, the 5090 Supreme. I think this Supreme, if not mistaken, is the one. I'm not sure. No, it doesn't appear here. I think it's the water cooled. I'm not sure which one is the water cooled. If it's a Supreme or something like that. But yeah, another connector off burned. This one has the yellow thingy that supposedly reduces user error again. I will be hammering this home as much times as needed. Again, this design of the 12-volt power pin is induces so much what we can call user error that the design itself is a flawed one. I don't know what they are doing there. Why we didn't see any kind of revisions or outright cancellation or coming up with a better design for a connection that can handle more power delivery. And specifically, this one, they seem to be all blackened out. I'm not sure how this happened here. Again, the RTX 5090 was from MSI, as also the power adapter. In terms of the power supply is not MSI. I'm not sure. There is an update here. Yeah, they didn't say which kind of power supply it is. It's not the MSI. I don't reckon this kind of brand here. But regardless, again, this comes about with the fact that this is a flawed design. Even I think the user got lucky. Probably the GPU is supposedly still working. He managed to discover the situation because he was having, I think, some blue screens or something like that. Even the gaming sessions were on games that were not fully utilizing the power of this GPU for around about 400 watts. It seems. Again, the PC itself, I don't know which kind of budget that he had here, but again, just for the GPU is $3,000 for this for this GPU itself. Again, it's the same price that I in which that I build my own PC. And I still had some change out of that if I get this kind of budget here, and I'm including everything from the monitor, the peripherals. Again, you might reach that point if you include all the small upgrades that I did from the boom arm, the microphone, and all that jazz. We might reach to and plus all the storage that I did manage to introduce here and there, we might get to around about that kind of price. But yeah, having this kind of hardware not being safe enough, because again, I suppose that the GPU can be fixed, let's say, by just replacing the connector as just a prevention, given that the majority of the damage was from the cable itself. Again, I don't know what to say. This ecosystem of power delivery doesn't have the the huge tolerances that, for example, the PCI 8 and 6 power delivery connectors have, and overall the cables plus the connectors, they can handle more than they are specified to work with. And it's something that it's not being seen here. Plus, again, the the fact that there isn't, especially on the higher end of the GPUs that use this 12-volt power pin, the 5090s, 5080s, and to a certain extent, I don't know why they do 5070s, not do just PCI 8, because it's a more safe power delivery system. But again, there is on this, there isn't in this higher end GPUs any kind of power modulation or control to balance out the power delivery for all the six cables. Given that these ones that are burnt are the ones that deliver power, and these ones are the grounded pins here, so that's why you usually don't see any damages on this LoRa, and unless the connector melts itself, all of it. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those reasons that again, 2 years ago, I did decide to save some money and go for the 7900 XTX, and I prefer to have three PCI 8 power pins connected there than to have just everyday checking the power pin to see if it's going to burn up or not my system there. But yeah, it's a shame. It continues to happen. It will continue to happen, and I think especially on the 5090s and 5080s, and again the 4090s. I still think that there's still a lot of issues with that. A lot of a lot of connector replacements in repair shops. At least from the YouTube videos that I've been seeing here, they continue to have kind of almost a steady stream of those GPUs there. Again, it's a shit show. I don't know why nobody talks more about this. In the sense, again, it might be a little bit repetitive, but I don't think there at this point in time there is a better way to call out this situation, at least from the manufacturers that are involved in designing this power delivery system for the GPUs there. There's need to be a better way to go about this, and not doing revision like shorten the sense pins and all that jazz. I think there are better ways to deal with this situation than just do that revision that they did, or coloring the pins themselves. Again, if you have to have a colored pin system to make sure that the connector is properly fitted, again, it's a design flaw. Again, when you insert a pin and you hear the click, it should be more than enough to have a secure connection there. But yeah, it is what it is. I will continue when I see these kind of situations to try to break it up, because I think it's important, especially on very high end hardware. In this case, usually can be from the GPU to the PSU, because we've seen a PSU completely burned out also, at least on the connector side of things, and it's a little bit tricky. You have to buy basically a new PSU, because usually when things like this happen, I assume some trigger mechanisms or on the PSU might trigger, and I don't know, any kind of capacitor might blow up or something like that, and you have to buy completely a new PSU there. At least that's my perception. But yeah, in other stuff, we got valves, Proton, so kind of the where SteamOS is based on. They reached 10.0 beta milestone. Again, I'm not very in-depth knowledgeable regarding this kind of situation, especially on the Linux-based systems, but it seems that they did a lot of improvements and brought a lot of stuff here, especially in terms of gaming performance. Again, there is the list here of everything that is fixed and improved there. Again, I just hope, given that I'm not very well knowledgeable in terms of Linux-based systems, again, I'm still waiting if there is going to be from Steam OS kind of a desktop version that we, especially me, I'm very used to use only Windows, and having a Linux-based system that basically can handle everything that I do on Windows without any kind of huge workarounds, or at least as most straightforward that it can be. I think it might be a huge revolution, in the sense that, again, a lot of people that have Windows-based systems, they have gaming systems. I think Windows might see some deinstalling on a lot of PCs, and because I think people that some of them might record, and again, software for editing and as such. plus other stuff that you can do there with a computer, other programs that might be supported on Linux. I think it might be a huge jump in terms of maybe Microsoft put their shit together and stop doing all the shenanigans that they've been doing here. But yeah, hopefully, again, I will try to keep up as best as I can to see in or when we can have something like this on a desktop PC, that it can be your like your main system. Everything works as Windows worked, at least on the software side of things. But yeah, till then, I will have to, because I also don't have a lot of time to trick around and experiment with these kind of things, or else I'll already be for sure will try that one out for sure. But yeah, hopefully there will come a decent solution where it's just basically installed, just and then tweak around little things here for you to get going without any huge hassles or workarounds there. But yeah, in terms of games, we got again Clair Obscur Expedition 33, huge success, at least 1 million copies sold in the first 3 days, which is excellent given that the game, or at least the reviews from the game and everybody that's been talking about the game, is praising the game for what it does, not only from their gameplay systems, the fact that it's a turn-based game with some quick time elements on the combat, plus the exploration and also the story. I think in terms of performance, in terms of optimizations of that, I think it's decent, at least from what I understand. But yeah, we've been seeing people on the studio. Again, only 33 people that were working on this game. So very, very small team from at least what we are used to seeing from big names like the Microsoft studios, the EAs, the Ubisofts, and PlayStation studios that are under their umbrellas. Again, we see usually hundreds of people working on a single game, and these guys really did manage to pull out a hit. And the fact that also was launched by the shadow drop of Oblivion Remaster, the fact that they still did manage to sell that much amount of copies for a double A game, let's say, it's good to see. And basically, people that already finished the game, they are wanting more out of this world and from this game. And we got the lead writer on certain interviews saying that again, nothing concrete that they can say at the moment. They are just trying to process everything that's happening at this moment. It's been a lot to take in. Again, I do believe so. And they always said that if there is a strong desire from the players to have more, that they say based on the responses they've been seeing, it's a pretty good chance that we might see down in the road or a DLC, or I don't know, a sequel to this. I don't know. Again, I don't know the story. I don't know how possible it is to have a sequel or something like that. But it seems to have that possibility of bringing more stuff or more content for this game. Again, I still need to get around. I really want to play this game because I really like the setting and the art style, and the gameplay system seems to be my on my jam thing there. And I'm very curious about the story. But yeah, and again, if you ever see any kind of DLC for this game, I think we'll take a little bit of time, because I assume were not expecting this to be this huge in terms of a hit, and the demand, or at least the call for more things to be brought to the game if possible. But yeah, we will have to wait a little bit if they're deciding to go for a DLC or something like that. In other news, we got EA. This started popping up yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that. And again, EA and this kind of, I don't know, corporate philosophy of just, again, cancellations of pre-production and even to, I think, early production stages of projects, games, even for movie series, whatever it is. Um, uh, I suppose that there's some cancellations here and there from time to time, but the approach that these companies seem to be having is just lay off people, Um, uh, my opinion regarding this is, again, my assumption is when you work with teams, there is a know-how and a knowledge base, and the integration that you have within that team. There is something that you cannot buy by itself. It's something that only time and can bring, that kind of know-how, the integration, getting along between all the teamworks, and again, also depending a little bit on the leadership. But again, it's one of those things that it doesn't come about, but just by paying money. Um, and I think this is in the long term. It's only going to have going to be bad for the projects, because again, you're always have this kind of cycle of you finish a game or you cancel a game, you lay off people, then you have a project, you contract people to work on it, people that never work together, that might not have the same kind of philosophy regarding the project themselves, and they spend extra time, with that said, more resources to put people, everybody in tune with each other for the philosophy of the game. um, and then the game doesn't is not well received, because again, the fact that you spend so much amount of time and resources to try and just keep the ship together, and it doesn't reach good port, then you have to lay off everybody because the game sales were not that good, and then you restart that whole cycle all over again, time and time again. Again, it doesn't build anything. It's just you're just basically cranking up not good games. And with that said, you're not taking any the philosophy of approach is just trying to make money and not thinking that much regarding the personal know-how, the human interactions that usually you have to have in a project, whatever it is. But yeah, it's something that I've been seeing a lot. Again, people are paying more attention to this, even though there always been some layoffs here and there after each project. Again, as the game cycle goes, when you are in pre-production, you have to have a small and concise team that it's focused on delivering the basis or the foundations of the project themselves. Then when it's time to deliver and execute the plan of the project, you enter in the production phase. You have to ramp up team, and then you have a lot of work to do. And after the post production cycle, which is a lot of marketing and just fine tuning, when you supposedly enter in the fine tuning project, so patching up, optimization, supposedly you don't want a lot of people tweaking around the game, so you leave it to a dedicated team that is in the know-how and has basically the authorization to fine tune the game. So you have to downgrade a little bit in terms of personnel that can be moved around. In case of huge studios, they can be moved around to another studio, or to take that time to recoup of the crunch time that usually happens. And then when the game launches, you got the post-launch situation, which at this point in time is a lot of it is patching and optimization work there. But yeah, the fact that in all projects, even if they are successful, unless they are the company is big enough to be able to transfer the people that are working in a project and transfer for another project inside that studio, usually there is always going to be some layoffs, in the sense that they are contractors. But yeah, we've been seeing a lot this. It's not healthy for the industry itself. Again, I assume some of them might be cutting the fat, as I usually say, and some of them are still. I still think some of this is like the house cleaning, in terms of all the things that we've been seeing from the ESG stuff and the DEI hirings. I think there is something in the mix there also, but it's not the majority, of course. And of course, also cleaning house in the sense that for sure there is a lot of people that are not good enough to work on those games or work in the studio. So again, there is some opportunities there to also clean those ones that doesn't serve the purpose of being in the company. But as a overall stuff, again, I think it detriments the the work relationship of the teams, and you lose a lot of the know-how, and how a team is supposed to work, especially when you reach 100 people working on a single project. Again, it's a lot there. But yeah, they cancel some incubation projects. I assume it's Titanfall. From EA, they the update of this article in terms of the layoffs. We got some numbers, which is between 300 to 400 developers have been laid off at EA, and approximately 100 of those are related to Respawn itself. Again, regarding Respawn, they were working, I think, in at least two or three projects. They had to lay off some people from Apex Legends. Again, it's a multiplayer game. I don't think it's getting that much of a revenue, probably. And then we got Star Wars Jedi's. I think they are or were working on. I don't know if they were in pre-production for the next Star Wars Jedi game. I'm not sure about that. And then we got the early stage incubation projects, and one of them supposedly it's like, I don't know, a sequel or a game in Titanfall. But yeah, and usually you got all the corporate talk that you usually bring, which as usual it's something in those lines of, as we sharpen our focus for the future, we made the decision to step away from two early stage incubation projects and make some targeted team adjustments across Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi's. These decisions aren't easy, and we are deeply grateful to every teammate affected. Their creativity and contribution have helped build Respawn into what it is today. We're offering meaningful support to those impacts, including exploring new opportunities within EA. Again, it's they always say that the people that contribute and they made huge contributions, they are very important, but uh, uh, again, the actions speak by themselves. Again, they don't consider the people important. It's just a number for them. It's just less expense, more money for the bonuses at the end of the year for these guys at the top there. So, uh, what can I say? People usually that are on the higher ups, I think at this point in time they don't have any background in team management or even working games, how the cycles work and how you should have a consistent team that can deliver projects. But yeah, we will continue to see this, as I've been saying, at least for the next couple of years. We'll be seeing almost every week a layoff here and there, layoff here and there, because again, at this moment they're just struggling to get more money. That's it. They don't think about doing a good project, focusing on that project with the minimum amount of personnel that needs to be working on that project and deliver something good there. They just think they can buy quality straightforward, which is not any kind of creative work. Doesn't work like that. But yeah, more layoffs, and I assume next month we will see more news regarding more layoffs somewhere in the gaming industry. And then we got a little bit here of the delay. Lost Souls, the site which was supposed to launch by the end of next month, so May 30th, they delayed the game. The quote here is they want to be committed to deliver high quality content. Again, this game is under the PlayStation China Heroes project program that they have. So I think this is a very small studio work on this game, and I think the guy, the mind behind this game, has been working on this almost alone for a lot of years. But I think he got the funding and everything. And again, I assume this is still a small studio. But yeah, they want extra time to polish the game, which I think it's a good thing. Again, when you come with a project out of nowhere, again, just use every time that you have to polish as best as you can, because it might be the a hit or a miss if the game is not well optimized or if not polished enough. Um, for example, like we had with Clair Obscur, very out of the gate, very solid game, even in terms of performance and polish overall. Again, take your time. I'm interested in this game because the story seems intriguing. But yeah, it was delayed till 29th of August. So you have more time here to play around in our backlogs on the Steam libraries. But yeah, 29th of August, it will come to PlayStation and Steam for PC and Epic Game Stores also. So we have to wait a little bit more. And then we got here just a reminder. Again, this game is still on early access. This is from Moon Studios. No Rest for the Wicked. Again, the same studio that brought the Ori games. I think the Ori games are still on sale. Yes, they are. And yeah, No Rest for the Wicked. They got a huge content update, which is called The Breach. It will come out during today's time. At the time of recording, I think a couple of hours or something like that. It will come this content update. I think it has more areas, more weapons, an update on the gameplay systems. Again, more optimizations in terms of how the game works, and I think new enemies. Again, a lot of stuff here. I'm not sure when they plan to release the full release of this game, but but the studio seems to be cooking good on this game. And I'm very interested. It's kind of a isometric, kind of a Souls-like kind of a game in terms of the combat, and then you got a lot of exploration. And they use. It seems that they use the isometric view to hid a lot of secrets for exploration. But yeah, and it seems pretty good this game. It seems that this is going to be a pretty good when the game completely launches. I think it's going to be a pretty good one also. Yeah, but this is it regarding news. Let's go for some gaming deals. We have the Long Dark. It's 90% off on the base game, and then you got the survival mode thing here, which is 50% off. Again, very positive reviews overall from players, and it's one of those that I think it might be a good one if you like crafting and survival mechanics. I think this might be a good game here. We got Nino Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch remastered. So this is the first game remastered here. It's 85% off. Again, Studio Ghibli art style there with JRPG mechanics. It seems pretty good. It's one of those that I'm always curious about and maybe give it a go. We got also the Ori games. Again, they are on sale. The first one, which is the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, 80% off, and then the sequel, Will of the Wisps, 67% off. We still have Resident Evil franchise in sale. I will leave all the Resident Evil games in the description below so you can pick and choose and complete your collection. We got Forza Horizon 5, again, even after all these years from 2021. It seems to be like a benchmark of racing games in a more casual sense there. And again, all the editions seems to be 50% off, so it's one of those. Then you got Wartales, kind of a Jagged Alliance-like game in a more medieval setting, and it's 50% off. We got Miasma Chronicles, kind of a spiritual successor to Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, 50% off. We got Liza P, 40% off. We got also Pacific Drive. The deluxe edition here is 40% off. And then finally, we got the Invincible, sorry. It's 40% off, more narrative driven, first person kind of a game here. Again, seems pretty good based on a book of, I think, Stanislav Lu. Yeah, Stanislaw Lu Lem. Oh my God, I completely butchered the name. But yeah, sci-fi kind of story driven. But yeah, this is what I got for today. I will, as usual, wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon for extra support, which is at this moment in time to maybe get around and get a better storage solution so I can have backups of stuff that I do for my clients. And of course, some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.